Hi friends, Pastor Jim here. It's September already, Tuesday the 1st of September. Today I'm thinking about all the children who've gone back to school today or this week. And in my Facebook account today I posted this message. I hold all the school students and families and their teachers in my heart today. And I've been praying for them and thinking about them all day. And this idea of holding them in my heart is a phrase that I'm comfortable with and have used, and the idea of holding something, lifting it up to God, it's a way of saying I'm praying for you, I'm holding you, like I see you, but I'm holding you in my heart. And so as I'm getting ready for bed tonight, I'm reading from Joy Unspeakable by Barbara Holmes. We're getting close to the end of the book. We've been reading it this summer in our Wednesday morning book group. And at the very end, the last 2 pages of her book, she's got a couple paragraphs that are about holding, and I'd like to read them to you. Very end of the afterword, she says, "In this book, I've described the contemplative practices of the Black Church as a protective membrane that held the community in safety during the crisis of overt communal oppression and individual angst. According to cosmologist Brian Swim, all of humankind needs to be held. The universe, Brian Swim says, has a method of doing that through such physical phenomena as gravity, the amniotic sac that holds us until birth, the atmospheric ozone layer that cradles the earth and protects it, the skin that we are in that keeps our innards from falling out, and the air that we breathe that surrounds and envelops us." And she goes on to write, according to Brian Swim, when we do not feel held, we create restrictions and rules to hold us and protect us from groundlessness. In ways that we're only beginning to explore, the Black Church developed contemplative holding mechanisms that protected a community under siege. At the time, we did not know that racism's onslaughts cannot be defeated by one strategy or even in one generation. Like the rising and falling sea tide, oppressions return to test the mettle of one generation after another. Those who follow in our footsteps can learn from the past, but ultimately must forge their own methods of activism, resistance, and leadership. Now, her book, Joy Unspeakable, has a subtitle, Contemplative Practices of the Black Church. And she's talking about activism, resistance, and leadership. And we've enjoyed reading that and thinking about it as she's guided us through her chapters of her book. Well, back to the students going to school today and this week. We hold them in our hearts. Who else do we hold in our hearts? I hold the African American communities in our country, people of color, black and brown people who feel oppressed and who feel like they're fighting an uphill battle to be understood, to have equal opportunity. Many of them have health problems because of systemic racism in the healthcare system and economic problems. I also hold teachers and administrators in my heart. I hold in my heart those who are grieving. Today I did a funeral for Daryl, and we pray for his wife Jean. Yesterday I did a funeral for Eleanor, and I pray for her children Anne and husband Dave and son Jim and his wife Laura. A week or so ago I did a service for Mel, and I pray for his widow Pat and their grown children. Those 3 people, Mel and Eleanor and Daryl, together have probably 180 years of church membership between the 3 of them. There's grief there for the church, but especially for their families facing the void now. My wife Julia's family is remembering Julia's brother Peter, who's now been gone 5 years this week. Aging parents, we hold them in our hearts. We hold them gently because sometimes we have ideas of what would be good for them to do and how to be and where to live and how to take care of themselves, but they are grown-ups and they'll do what they want to do sometimes. Let us hold one another gently but lovingly. We talk about God holding us in the palm of God's hand. It's a helpful image, even as we might look to Brian Swim's natural images of the earth holding us as well. Peace to you. May you have a good week. May you know that you are loved and that you're held. Thanks for listening.